Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another live stream. It is Monday, October the 14th, 3 p.m. Pacific, where I am in the world. I hope you're doing well. There's going to be episode 1043. 1043. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Can you believe it? It is Monday. Brand new week. I was actually streaming live this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Longer than my usual streams as well. So be sure to catch it on YouTube when I go live. That is where, if I'm doing my work streams occasionally, because I'm doing a project at the moment, I would go there. That's what I would do. But how are we doing? How are we doing? This looks really peaceful to me, this one. There we go. Hey Med, great to have you here, all the way on Facebook. Good evening to you at your 11:02 p.m. And Angela on Facebook is... Oh, I did not put that there. Angela, great to have you here. Welcome. Welcome. Today I was editing a coaching call and then editing my work that I was doing at the weekend. My secret project, which was not so secret because I was doing it live. But it was fun though. Had a bit of a chat with the chat. Oh, hello, Other Med on YouTube. Great to have you here. Hey, Mina, welcome back as well. You were here at the weekend. I liked it. It was fun, just doing a little bit of work, recording, stopping, recording again, stopping. Hey, Eric, great to have you here. Do we have a topic? Kinda. I'm gonna free flow a little bit, but if you want me to cover certain things, I can do my very best. It's been a bit of a rush day, to be honest. I did put showing up in the title though, and I showed up, so I guess I fulfilled that one. And I think I've showed up pretty consistently on YouTube. For what? How long have we been? How long? Just how long? I used to do Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now Mondays and Fridays. I might even go down to a Friday or a Monday. Who knows? Probably not. We'll see. So yeah, my first consistency of going live, I did it here and there, was January the 17th, 2001. That's when I started going live 3 times per week. 3 times per week. So it's been quite the work, let alone all my actual business. Yeah, that was the point though, really. I'm good at setting boundaries, I like to think. So if I'm like, let's go to the next one, I'll go to the next one. I'm all cool with that. But if we have just conversation in between, I'm cool with that as well. Oh wow, Med, sorry to hear about that. That's not cool. Hopefully you're feeling better now. So not cool. You get sudden, automatically, spontaneously, all the care, all the healing. But feel better, and I hope you are already better. Hey Michelle, no problems, we've just started, 6 minutes in. 6 minutes in, and we'll start soon though. We'll start soon. Why are my comments so funny? They just get bigger for no reason. Truth. And we got to ask ourselves, do we? Do we show up? Are we showing up? There's a cool book I've referenced sometimes, and it's called Outwitting the Devil. Has anyone read the book? I've got the book and the audio version. The audio version is kind of freaky because the devil in it. So I was going to listen to it at night once, but when this guy, I'll give you the premise. This guy holds the devil accountable to tell the truth of all his wicked ways, of how he tries to get people off their path. But the audio version sounds like this. In a way. But it's still great though. I've listened to it many times. And, oops, I meant to do that one, but that was cool as well, saying hi to everybody. It was about trying to get humanity into sedation, and therefore not to show up, just be a passenger, I think they called it. No, a drifter was the key word. To drift through. Hey Kim, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. I like how you're all saying hello to one another. Oh my goodness. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully the beta blockers, I went American there. Beta? It's hard living in two worlds. Because it is a different world, by the way. I look through the world of being in America, and then I look through the world of being in England, and they're very different. They're similar, but different words, different meanings. Pleased to hear it. Oh, you said I've been better. Oh my goodness. Well, be better. Feel better soon. I thought you said I'm better. So you might want to just relax on this one, Med. Try not to be too engaged because we want you to be nice and relaxed. So go ahead and just allow deep relaxation to occur in the most amazing way that you cannot. Just feel old things and remember the deepest relaxation experiences you've ever had. And your body can remember that. speaking to you, the unconscious mind of Med. Your body will remember the times you were so peaceful, so relaxed, and will go back there into the physiology of perfect health. You see, deep down, Med, within your unconscious now, it has a memory, a blueprint of perfect health. And you, the unconscious mind of Med, will remember it and realign with it. And it will feel so, so good. In the most undeniable way. You are free, regulating effortlessly, just like a stream, a gentle flow of peace and tranquility. And I don't know if you'll do that now or in a minute, and I wouldn't suggest that you feel it now. Kind of. I'll remember again next month, because that's when I next go. The words are the hardest things. I'm like, where's the trash? It's the bin. You need to go get some gas. It's not gas. You need to get some petrol. So words are the main thing. Yeah, feel better, Med. Effortlessly better. Wouldn't it be cool just to effortlessly feel better now? I feel like doing a meditation now, rather than a power talk. Or maybe a hypnotic meditation of power talk. A hypnotic meditation power talk. So today you will rise up and effortlessly feel powerful. Okay, we will start in just a 2 minutes time or so. By the way, we are so close to 41,000 subscribers. We're at 40,898, and that means we're 102 subscribers away, which by Friday, I will confirm that we hit it. I hope to get it by today or tomorrow. Oh, that's cool. Pleased that it helps. When my relative was in hospital, I went to the hospital to do live hypnosis with him, but he had his own sessions and he'd just listen to the ones I created him. This was my relative had the aneurysm, who was refused surgery, told to live out the next 2 years of his life at the most. We said, no way, that's not going to be our narrative and story. We did the work. His body got healthy. Had the operation because of the surgery. The body was in such good health, it was able to survive a surgery. And then I got a blimmin' fly in my monitor. Oh dear. We got Freddy the fly. Now it's gone. And then he had his surgery, perfect, healed quicker than most people his age. So the nurses said. The power of hypnosis is pretty powerful. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and sub. Because we're not starting the stream until we get 102 more. We're just going to chat forever. No, we won't. We're going to start. So let me hydrate. Although I did get a slightly new version of the app, I wanted some changes. So the top featured section was too big. We got some design, but I've made them, this was like twice a side and it was covering a lot of that screen. So I told them to cut it by a third. So that's going to be the featured section now. And the same for in the Hypnosis library. How cool is that? And look, I said about reflections, which I was recording at the weekend live. We've got them there. I recorded these before I went live, but they're bite-sized audio. So we've got one for 6 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 6 minutes. I did some 8s and 9s. And I'm going to record more. I think maybe Sunday. Maybe Sunday. So I'm working Saturday. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. You ready? Thank you, thank you, thank you. That hypnotic voice I was doing slowed me down. Where am I? Who am I? What's happening? Need a reboot. Sound a bit Canadian then. Reboot. Okay, let's slow down this music. And we said episode 800. No, where'd that come from? 800. 1,000. It was 800 on the subscribers. That's where it came from. Thank you, unconscious mind, but we need the right one. Episode 1043. 1043. 1043. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough and this is episode 1043. And today we come back with another power talk to get your mind in the right place, to do what has to be done, and to live a life of emotional freedom in a powerful, conscious and unconscious way. When we go through many, many experiences in our life, we can tend to be anxious. We can tend to be disoriented. I can't even say the word. Disorientated. How can I not say that word? Disorientated. There we go. And because of those experiences cause us to kind of second guess us, we start to feel like an imposter. We start to feel like worry and doubts and fears and all those types of things because of the experiences that we went through. And one thing that it causes, I think, the most is that we become a passenger to our experience. We become sedated by that emotional pain that we've created a narrative of what we think is possible and what we think is possible for us. Like we can start to go, who am I to have money? Who am I to have a good relationship? Who am I to have good health? Who am I to live the life that I want, doing the job that I want? And that second guessing starts to do more because it's, I'm going to struggle with this word a little bit probably, but we go into like rumination, which is where we start to just sit in the issue that we experience. We tend to talk about it a lot. And here's a real crazy thing, right? We may talk about our friends, or with our friends about it. We might talk to our colleagues a little bit. We might talk to our partner about the stresses and the worries and the doubts. But even if you didn't, you are talking about it inside your own mind because you're thinking about it most of the time. You're feeling it most of the time. And when that tends to happen, it causes our brain neurologically to just go back to that place. Every time we think about it, every time we have reasons, every time we have excuses as to why we can't do something, our unconscious mind is just absorbing it. And that absorption becomes the framework of your perception. In other words, whatever you perceive to be true through the filters of your own mind, even if it was based on bad, significant experiences of the past, your unconscious mind will see that as a lens. It will see it as this is what life is, because your unconscious mind doesn't know better. I like to think or imagine that the unconscious mind is like a child. Yes, it does amazing things with our biology, the fight and flight, but it's also going to do the most simple things. It's going to do the things that we tend to gravitate to. And it's so easy to gravitate to the fear and the worry and the doubt for many different reasons. One, there is going to be a form of protection, right? Because we don't want to get hurt again. You don't want to feel pain again. You don't want to get let down again. You don't want to feel as if going into that work situation or go for that job in case you might not get it or might feel like an imposter. You might have that inner critic. It's so easy to fall into that comfort zone, but that comfort zone is not really comfort. It's just familiar. We hear it all the time. I'm just in my comfort zone. No, you're in your familiar zone. You have been ruminating in this anxiety mind, in the worrisome thoughts and the inner critic of just simply our self-talk, in other words, and the pictures that we make because of that, we land and settle in it. And settle is quite an ideal word because we tend to just settle for this is all that we have. This is all we can be. This is all we can do. Maybe because that person said that thing, maybe because that situation didn't work out, we will look for all the reasons in that rumination of the thoughts and the feelings of the problem itself. This is where we've got to take a stand, because you can be defined by your past. You can be defined by the words that you were listening to growing up or that were spoken toward you. You can choose to be defined by all of those things, but we can also make a different choice. And the choice is kind of hard because it is trying to get us out of this familiar zone, and we're doing it because we don't want to get hurt. And that's why it makes it so easy to feel like just a passenger, why you just kind of let go and go, I'm just going to be a passenger to my circumstance, a passenger to my experience, a passenger to just get by. But in reality, even though it's familiar, it's the most painful feeling because we just stay there. We just feel it, and it almost becomes normal. We set up that level of expectation that this is just all I'm going to be. And those expectations become valuations to your unconscious mind of your own self-identity. You see, if you perceive it long enough about yourself, that becomes your value of what is possible, and therefore that expectation is all that you can ever amount for. But we do have that other choice. And that is the choice to stop being a passenger to your circumstance. That is the choice of taking a stand. And it is hard because, like I said, it's so familiar being in pain that we actually start to not recognize the pain as much because it just is so familiar. And I'm saying these things multiple times because I really want you to understand that when we look really clearly, when we look at ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves, is this all I ever want to be? Is this the example that I want to have to those in my life? Is this the example I'm going to be for that young me? Or do I need to be a different example for that young me? Do I need to be a different example for those in my life, whether it be our relationship, our children, or our colleagues, our customers, in other words, everyone? And that is where we take the stand and take the rise up to go, actually, I'm going to do more today. And it just has to be one thing, the decision to show up. To show up for yourself. To show up for what is right. Over the fear, over the worry. Because most people will only make decisions based on those fears. But when you get to the place of deciding over fear and deciding what is right, something interesting starts to happen. And I see it time and time again. Because when I work with my clients, obviously they're going through a lot of stuff. And when we start to do the work, something interesting, it's like a little flicker happens in the unconscious mind. That actually there's another way of living where I can still be safe, but without the fear. Where I can still be safe and know my value in this world. And what then begins to happen is like your unconscious mind starts to just kind of look for these other counterexamples of the past, where you were of value, where you have that right to live and be the dreams that you want to kind of co-create with your unconscious mind. And it is hard, it is stressful, but it's not as stressful in the long-term pain of staying the same. I think we can all think if we were to go out into our future with the issue, even if it's slow burning. I know for many of us though, like when I was growing up, it was a full-time dread. Like I was a professional, full-time dreader, blusher, anxiety. It's very rarely I had some off time. So for many of us, it is very painful, but we do numb ourselves because that's our expectation. But if we like stretch that out, that is far more painful than just making the decision to no longer be a passenger. But how do we have to do that? Well, if you want to think about that future you for a moment, think of the future you which has everything. Like this future you has the relationship. Even if you're in a relationship, maybe you just change it into a great relationship. So because you've improved it, because you are showing up differently. Think about your financial situation. Think about your career. Think about your relationships, whether you have children or friendships and customers or employees, colleagues, bosses, whatever it is for you. If you think about that person who has it all, has absolutely everything you wanted. And I'm not just talking about the external, I'm talking about that unwavering self-certainty, the unwavering, undeniable, immense self-value, where you just feel totally at peace, totally whole, totally content. Yeah, still growing and still kind of progressing and all those things, but you just feel this level of inner contentment that you know everything is working out just fine. You know everything that the universe is providing for you, no matter what. You don't know how, but it happens. Where you have that deep, unwavering self-belief in your worth. If you consider stepping inside of that you, the you that you want to become, the you that has it all, what type of actions is that you taking? Is that you stepping back and saying no? Is this you turning down opportunities? No. This you has become someone who showed up. This person took a stand every single day, because that is the new narrative of how you see life. Think of that perception. Think about the evaluations and judgments that you're making in that future you. Now, in order to be that person, we have to start at least operating like that person, doing the small things, the subtle things, even the big things, of course. But if you want to think about that perfect strategy, look through the eyes of that you. It's going to give you some signals. It's going to give you some ideas of a type of mindsets that you need to cultivate, the type of beliefs that you need in order to have what you wish to receive in your life. So just for a moment, if you think about that you in the future, which has it all, what would be the belief about yourself? What identity would you have? What narrative would you be projecting out there into the world. Because I know when I think of my transformation, I never used to feel good enough, and I now know I am enough. Now, I'm always going to keep growing, but I ultimately know I'm enough. I'm good enough. I'm capable. And when I started to own that role, not fake it till you make it, but where I can just clearly see the tangible aspects of who I am, knowing my worth and what I'm doing, I started to then just keep on gaining from that. Because that self-certainty began to generate behaviors which matched that self-belief, that matched that self-certainty. You see, many of us will try to change our behavior. Many of us will try to change a thought, but it's not about the thought. In fact, it's not about the emotion you may be feeling, like anxiety. It's going to be all about identity, because your identity dictates everything. Identity dictates your beliefs, your values, and therefore your capacities, and therefore your behaviors, therefore how you show up in your environment. Whereas I said, most of the time we would try to change the behavior, and I didn't add this, and that's why I'm cycling back to it, we try to change our environment. And that is one bad relationship to the next one bad workplace to another one, another credit card to another credit card, all of those things. But I want you to take a stand and start to think about that identity that you want to be. Who are you going to live up to? Now, you may need help in doing that, because you might want to and need to let go of a limiting belief about yourself. And because it's stored at unconscious level, you really need help with that. I needed help to let go of mine. And it took a long time to figure that out. But once I did, everything, like I said, started to change. But once you start to identify with the beliefs and the values that you want to live by, it's going to be your starting point to that success. Because we've got to refuse to be the passenger. We've got to refuse the sedation. Because there's one thing that in society, there are so many levels of sedation. There's so many opinions of how we should be. But for us to add that extra layer just makes it even worse. That is where our identity kind of just looks for more, the confirmation bias. We look for more reasons to stay the same. We look for more external validation where we never feel it on the inside. We just notice what we tend to want to look for at an unconscious level. But if I were you, I would write out a mission statement, an identity that you're going to decide and declare to start to live by. Because in the knowledge of that, you've then got a clear choice. You stay in the familiar zone, or you do something about it. You take the steps. You take inspired action. You do what has to be done, and make it all on you. Because you're the one who's going to have to be the instigator of your transformation. No one can do it for you. And I like that in a way, because when like coaches and hypnotherapists say, I'm going to make you change, it gives the power to them. That's not empowerment. I want you to have the empowerment. I want you to like decide and declare that this is the life that you want to have. That's choice. That is clearly you moving from being an effect of your life, which has the reasons and excuses, clearly to the other side of being the cause of your future, the cause of your happiness, the creator of the life that you want to live. How much more freeing is that when you get to decide it, where you get to go in the direction? So yeah, get the help with someone, but start to own it yourself first. There are so many tools out there. There are so many people who have done what you want. There's so many examples. There's so many practitioners who are a specialist. Like for me, I'm a specialist. I've been doing hypnosis for like 23 years. I've recorded thousands of audios over the years. I've worked with crazy high level people and people with crazy big issues. And I just know how to let go of unconscious issues. I just know how to. I know how to let go of the imposter syndrome, all the self-doubt, and all those things. So find someone who can aid you in that transformation, lead you to where you want to be, and then you can start to really live life. But it still starts with you stopping being a passenger, waking up to it, in other words, showing up to your life the way you would like to show up, to show up to the opportunities that are all around you, to show up for your family, to show up for your customers, to show up for that young you that you always needed back in the past. And that allows us to see the world in such a different way, a different experience. One of the things that I wrote once was, in light in the illusionary darkness, there is only love. I'm the everlasting moment of oneness. I am love. And when I wrote that, because I wrote it because I wanted to get a tattoo of it, I got it translated. But I want to live my life like that, to enlighten the illusionary darkness, that there's only love. And if I think of that as an identity of like just growing and learning, not running away from the darkness, but shining my light so it cannot exist, to enlighten that illusionary darkness. Because that illusionary darkness is not necessarily something external, by the way. It is the illusions that we've been creating and conforming to ourselves. Yeah, people could have done bad things, said bad things, gone through life experiences, but ultimately we are flying that torch from that narrative if we choose to keep on living by that narrative. But we can start to go differently, put down that torch, get your own torch, and start to just light up that illusionary darkness that we have been projecting as truth. It's just one level of perception. But when you decide and declare that you're going to start to dictate a new identity, and I'm going to finish this in a minute, but when I say like to write out a new identity, you might be thinking, well, that's not me. But what is you? I mean, you're not your problems. You are not your past. You are not just feedback from your experience. Yeah, it can help define you if we choose to, but that's not who we really are. And I like to think, if you ever have think of people, see them as like babies, because they were all once babies, right? They were all once so innocent and naive, and they probably went through a ton of things. But like everyone, and like you were whole once. You were innocent. You were purity. You were content. You were just whole. A bundle of wholeness. So it's about designing who you want, but that designing of who you want is with the idea of returning back to wholeness. And I've said this in a recent episode, like we come into this world blank, we go through experiences, these contrasting experiences, this resistance, which makes us feel fragmented. But once we start to wake up and show up, we start to then integrate by learning from our past. And then when we integrate, what are we integrating those problems back to? Well, back to wholeness, but with another level, which is wisdom. You see, those learnings will protect you. That wholeness with wisdom is like the absolute, because when we came here blank, we had no experience, but now we've got the benefit of integration of conflict by learning from it and becoming wiser back into the wholeness that we desire. So see that as the journey, but along every journey, there's got to be a point where we show up for ourselves. We show up over fear. We show up because it's right. There are so many ways to get it. I mean, for some people, you might want to go ahead and apply to personally work with me if you are called to. And you can at josephclough.info/talk, where we kind of discuss where you are, where you want to be, and what's getting in the way. And we figure it out. If I can solve it, we'll let you know, but we can let it all go. Yes, there's an investment because it is fully customized for your unconscious mind. And it's not just me, it's my team. We get to work with you and support you through these different elements. And it's not really important about the how, by the way, anyway, but it's about the outcome. If you're ready to shine and do the work with us, go to joesclough.info/talk. You just got to be very, very invested in time and in money, but see it as the most amazing, liberating investment you ever make. I know I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over the year trying to improve myself in all that I do and trying to help as many people as possible. And I do not regret any one of those dollars or pounds, depending where I was at the time, because I knew it's going to lead me to something greater. So with that, whether it's me or someone else, show up for yourself and do what has to be done. And with that, I look forward to speaking to you in another episode, but just show up. Ask yourself, am I showing up for myself? Am I showing up for my young baby me when I was with all that little innocent purity of joy? And am I showing up for my future self like that future me wants to right now? So with that, I look forward to speaking to you in a future episode. Many thanks and goodbye. Okay, we're back. We did it. We were going all over the shop that time. I was repeating a lot, but I wanted to get the unconscious mind to really, really remember. To remember. To re-remember. But we did it. Episode 1043, all completely done and dusted. We showed up. I'm showing up. Yeah, I like it. I've actually got 2 journals right there and one right next to me on the floor at the moment, or leaning up against my desk. But then we can define it. We can start to really integrate. Oh, look at this superstar. How you doing, my friend? Saying thank you for all the work that helps me and helped me who I am today. I'm so grateful I met you 5 years ago. You're a life changer. You opened up my eyes in so many aspects. That is someone, a great and powerful superstar who was in my program and did the work. I'm very, very proud of you. You're such an awesome person. I don't know why your comment popped up at the top there. I'll like it a little bit lower, but my problem with my comments recently. But that's awesome. That shows the amazing dedication of doing the work. So all credit to you, my friend. Thank you, Kim. And thank you, Cheryl. Oh, and for the super chat as well. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. These comments are, I like everyone's comments, but how my system has created this issue, I have no idea. It's just so confusing to me. I need to reach out to the support peeps. But thank you ever so much. I appreciate that. I'm just scrolling down. Nice. Yeah, the passenger is the thing. It's easy to fall into the passenger because we kind of let our unconscious mind become the driver, but it's driving from that place of fear, which tries to keep us safe. But think about being in a car of a super nervous person trying to be safe, but actually is more dangerous, and you're just a passenger looking over going, oh my goodness, what's happening? You need to get back in the control seat. Nice. Well, thank you, Mina. I appreciate that. And thank you, Cheryl. Very, very kind. And Kim, very, very kind. And thank you, Eric. Very, very kind. You shine on. And you're most welcome. Thank you for your kind words, everybody. I do appreciate it. Almost yawned there. There's been a busy day. A busy, busy day. How do you not be a passenger but surrender like they say they do? Not sure if I'm making sense. So yeah, there's a difference though. So it does make sense. A passenger is not... It's like, if you think of like flowing, you've got congruency, you've got alignment. Conscious and unconscious alignment. That is flowing. That is a level of surrender because you're so congruent, so aligned, so peaceful. You don't have resistance. You are in that flow state and you just know. You just know. You're just like, I'm in the moment. But that's a level of knowing. If you then flip it, like if you try that mentality on energetically, notice how much opening it is, how you're just curious and excited and open for what could happen. You're just in the knowingness. And then step out of that role and then kind of step into the passenger where someone else is driving based on fear, worries, and doubts, which could be the unconscious mind. That doesn't seem very flowing for me. Right there. So think about just congruency, alignment, and oneness. One has a lot of resistance and feeling stuck and out of control, where the other is fine without control because they're in control. It sounds very weird, I know. Like a Riddler. I'm so feeling good out of control because I'm in control. I'm so in control that I'm out of control. But you know what I mean. There's that flow state. There's a congruency with the world, with the universe, or with God, or with your unconscious mind, or all of those things, depending what our belief systems are. Does that make sense, Mina? I don't know, I might be rereading your question because I think I just answered a different question that you didn't have. How do you not be a passenger but surrender? So first of all, they're the differences, to be clear, and then you go ahead and let go of the identity conflict and get the unconscious mind to know there's another way of being safe. That's the real question that you had, rather than a question I thought you had. How you do it, it could be, for example, working with someone like me or another practitioner, but letting go of that identity of limitation, the limiting beliefs that we have, the anxieties we have. If we start to let go of those and get the unconscious mind to think and know differently of yourself at an identity level, then you'll get into that knowingness and that congruency and that flow state and all those things. So the first question you didn't have, I was just getting people to try the difference on. That was my example. Thank you, Cheryl. You have a wonderful evening. For some reason, Mad, your comments just not come through. So I'll read it from here. Lady night at the hospital. I was a passenger in a car with no driver where I had no control. Fear and rage were driving it. Had some terrible moments last week and broke me down Friday. Yeah, that can happen as well. I don't know why that comment hasn't been pulled in. Then again, the stream element one hasn't either. Oh, actually, no, it did. But a different one. Oh, that's from Twitch, that's why. Twitch has come through. I'm going to do a test in the chat before we finish. I want to know if that's working. Test. See, my comment came through just fine. And so did Cheryl's. Maybe you're having a reboot. Mad. Reboot your neurology. Okay, that one came through. That one came through. But Kim's has not come through. Which you say, for the longest time, I felt like a passenger in a vehicle had been a car hijacked by my subconscious mind. Exactly. Exactly. And so most comments are coming through. So if I did miss any beforehand, sometimes YouTube just does that. But with that, we will call it a day. I'll be back on Friday for an hypnosis session, and I hope to have that one came through as well. Yeah, nice reboot. We've had our shutdown, but now we're just starting back up. I don't know. Does this mute me, by the way? 1 2 1 2. No, it didn't. That's if someone was swearing on an interview. I could just go. Nice. Yeah. Exactly. I like to think sometimes if you change it to it's like the unconscious mind was the driver, but also the car, right? It's running all the things at once, like the engine, the regulation, and all those things. But it was doing everything. Now you're getting back into the driver's seat, and now I see as the car as, yeah, the passenger or the back seat, but also just the car, but you're driving the car. In other words, you're allowing the unconscious mind to know the direction that we're heading. From Memphis, Tennessee. I liked Tennessee. Now, I've only been to Nashville, but there you go. You have a wonderful one, Mina. And with that, yeah, we'll leave it there. I'll be back on Friday. So have a most wonderful rest of your week, and I'll speak to you all soon. Many thanks, and goodbye.